Hey there YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel for another reaction video. So, like usual, I have no idea what I'm about to watch, but I'm super excited. So, let's see how this goes.
So you guys, I wanted to find
Okay, I know who this
a
is.
very special way to close out this event. And I thought it would be great if I could tell an old story that was from years ago that never made it to a 1-hour special. And the cool part about this story is that it now has a different ending. The story is called The Gift Basket. Some of you know it, some of you don't know it, but after this, you're never gonna forget it. All you have to know about this story is that all the people involved have always been and will continue to be friends. That being said, Martin and I, all the good ones start like that. Martin and I are scheduled to perform in Northern California. Usually we fly, but this particular day I was having a problem with Southwest Airlines. They wanted me to pay for an extra seat for someone who wasn't traveling with me. Take your time, you'll figure it out. Anyway, I tell Martin, I'm not paying for an extra seat. Let's just drive, it's 6 hours. So we headed north. 3 hours into the drive, we're passing through a city called Fresno. And as we're passing, hey, Fresno 559, get us away. Anyway, as we're passing through Fresno, we start seeing billboards off the side of the freeway that said, performing this weekend at the Radisson Hotel. Directly from BET's Comic View and Showtime at the Apollo, comedian G. Riley. And I look at Martin, I go, oh shoot, G's in town. And Martin goes, yeah, I haven't seen G in years. So we're like, let's stop by the hotel and say hi. So we pull into the parking lot. We walk in. I tell Martin, he doesn't know we're here. I'm gonna crank call his room. He goes, what are you gonna say? I said, I'm gonna tell him that I'm the front desk and that he just received a gift basket. He goes, what's so funny about a gift basket? I said, I'm gonna describe it over the phone. And I'm gonna make all the items that are in this imaginary basket become items that stereotypically a black person might like. You're crazy. I said, I'll tell you what, we got 2 hours to kill. How about this? How about we go to the supermarket and we make an actual racist gift basket? And we'll have it delivered and we'll wait outside to see what happens. I said, are you down? We go to a store and we start to design the sickest practical joke ever. I get a shopping cart and I'm like, all right, we need a basket. So I find one, I take out the grass, the plastic eggs, and the chocolate rabbits. And we start hitting the aisles. First item I grab is a fried chicken about that big, okay? See how quick that laugh was? There's a few black people in here like, motherfucker, this better be funny. It's hysterical. Let me just finish the story and then you could judge me in the parking lot. So anyway, then Martin hands me a miniature watermelon and I put it next to the fried chicken. Here's where it gets interesting. Employees of the store find out what we're doing and they start volunteering to help us finish the basket. Half of the employees were black, which made it so much more accurate. Aisle after aisle. One guy was stocking a shelf. He was an older white guy, and we're like, sir, can you help us? What do you need? My buddy Martin and I are trying to make this messed up racist gift basket for our black friend as a practical joke. Can you think of something we can put in there? Without even blinking an eye, the guy was like, you gotta have Kool-Aid. So at the end of the aisle on the right, malt liquors and XL over in the back of the store in the freezer section. It's on sale 2 for 1. By the time we get to the register, all these different employees plus us came up with a basket that had fried chicken, watermelon, Kool-Aid, grape soda, barbecue potato chips, sunflower seeds, an Ebony magazine, a Chris Rock DVD called Bigger and Blacker, Magnum condoms, Newport cigarettes, a rack of ribs,
a lot of
the
stuff.
recipe for cornbread. It was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Icing on the cake, we find a greeting card that's on clearance from Halloween, and it has a picture of 3 ghosts on the cover wearing sheets. I tear off the half that says Happy Halloween, and on the back of the card I write, welcome to Fresno, love the Chamber of Commerce. And we stick it to the basket. We made it all nice and pretty, and we haul ass to the hotel. We pull up. We walk in. The basket is hot as hell, so I'm racing in. I get inside and I put it on the counter as fast as I can, bro. It's too perfect. There's a black girl behind the front desk. As soon as I put the basket down, I hear... Is that chicken? Ooh, let me see. Hold on. What is it? Let me explain. My name is Gabriel. This is Martin. We're a couple of comedians, and we're about to play a really crazy practical joke on a friend of ours who's staying here tonight by the name of G. Riley, who's also a comedian. Oh, the one that's on the signs on the freeway. Yeah, the one that's on the signs on the freeway. So, as a practical joke, we went to the store and we made this messed up racist gift basket. That's why you can smell fried chicken.
The explanation is always the best here.
You need Jesus, that's what you need. Kiki, girl, you better hang up that phone. You ain't gonna believe what I'm looking at over here, girl. Listen, we think it would be hysterical if we could have you deliver the basket for us. She lost it. Oh, the hell you didn't. I know you didn't just ask me to take that to a black man. You are out your damn mind. Oh, Lord, give me the strength to not kill this big-ass Mexican over here, Lord.
Of course, that's how it goes.
Okay, look here, Nacho Libre. I don't care who you are. I am not doing it. Hell no. I'll give you $50. Where that motherfucker at? We follow her to the hotel room. She knocks on the door. Martin and I hide by the elevator on the floor. She knocks. She opens the door, sees a beautiful black woman standing there with a gift basket. This is for you, baby. He says, thank you, closes the door. She walks away and she sees us on the ground hiding, right? And she's like, y'all still going to hell. We go to the door and we put our ear. Listen, listen. This is what we hear inside. Woo! Chicken. Oh, Kool-Aid. He's getting excited over every single item he's pulling out of the basket. He gets to the greeting card. Welcome to Fresno. Love the Chamber of Commerce. Hell yeah. Then we feel him flipping the card over because his voice changed. He's like, oh yeah, man. What the fuck? Outside the door, we heard racist bastards. When we heard racist bastards, we lost it. Housekeeping is freaking out. ¿Qué está pasando allá? ¿Qué andan haciendo ustedes? Muchachos, ¿qué está pasando, gordito? ¿Qué andas haciendo? We're laughing, we're crying, we got boogers coming out. We can't take it anymore. We knock on the door. He yells, who is it? Too easy. Chamber of Commerce. He rushes the door. I put my finger on the peephole so he can't see who it is, right? The knob starts to jiggle, then the door explodes open, and he's like, what? And he sees us, and he's like, ah! What's up, G? Man, y'all give a brother a heart attack. Did you like your basket? Man, that was messed up. Did you like it? Man, I love all that shit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a story that has been 7 years in the making. I would like for you to now hear, for the first time ever, the other side of that story. Ladies and gentlemen, I flew him here to Hawaii so that he can share this with you. Give it up for my
Okay, so this
friend,
time the shirt makes
Mr.
sense.
G. Riley.
I gotta be honest. I didn't know it was racist. I thought it was lunch. I thought it was lunch. I didn't know it was racist until I got back to my neighborhood. And brothers in my neighborhood looked at me. They say, man, I don't believe you let that Mexican guy do that to you, man. That was messed up. I know you got it back. I said, what, buy him lunch? I can't afford to buy that man lunch. If I buy him lunch, he'll be getting me again. But see, you gotta understand, it was the perfect set of circumstances when it happened. Because I'm laying across the bed in the hotel. I'd never been to Fresno before. And I wanted something to eat, and I didn't know where to go eat. So I'm laying across the bed, and I'm saying to myself, where could I go eat? I wish I had some food. And all of a sudden, magically, there's a knock on the door, and a black girl shows up with a gift basket. And I took the gift basket, and I said, they know how to treat their comedians up here in Fresno. And I'm walking to the bed, and I could feel the heat, and I could smell the chicken from the gift basket. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Because nobody smells chicken and thinks of racism, right?
No, they don't. No, they don't. At least I don't. I don't know.
Right, so I see the watermelon. I'm like, oh, this is cool. They know how to treat a comedian up in here. I get to the card, and I look at the card, and I go, what the fuck is going on? I said, oh, my God, I'm working for the Ku Klux Klan. And I really started to panic because in my head, I'm saying to myself, is this for real? Because there were billboards all over the city with my picture. And I started thinking they were trying to scare me out of town. So now I don't know what to do, right? And I start trying to call a promoter, and the promoter's not answering the phone, and it's festering in my head, and I'm nervous, and I'm pacing the room, and all of a sudden there's a knock on the door, right? And I go, oh my God, they come to get me. So I ease over to the door, right? And I look through the peephole, right? And all I see is a brown dot, right? And I go, I hear somebody out there because I hear the breathing, right? I hear. This was about 60 pounds ago, right? So I go to look down up under the door, right? But I said, oh my God, it got to be about 5 or 6 of them out there. Oh my God. So I figure like this. I figure, okay, you know what? If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. You know, if it's gonna happen, I'm gonna go down swinging, right? So I put my best black face on. You know, I tried to look mean. You know, I look like this guy right here. I look like this guy right here, right? And I go, who is it? And they go, Chamber of Commerce. And I'm like, oh my God, the Chamber of Commerce is the Ku Klux Klan. And I'm panicking, so I get to the door, right? And I pull the door open, and when the door opens up, these guys are falling all over the hall, laughing at me. They're rolling all into the cleaning lady's car. The cleaning lady didn't know what was going on, right? She's scared to death because she sees a black dude with no shirt like this, so she grabs the lemon pledge like it's pepper spray, right? She's ready to get So everything, now that I realize it's a practical joke, everything calms down because I remember how hungry I was. I'm like, okay, cool. Practical joke, right? So
Hunger always wins.
While I'm in the bathroom washing my hands, I hear a commotion in the other room, right? I go back in the other room. They're going through the gift basket. The maid is leaving with the watermelon. Martina's drinking my 40. And this fluffy bastard is eating my chicken! I'm out of here!
Unity through laughter, baby. Mahalo. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I have actually seen many of Gabriel Iglesias specials in the past, and I've always enjoyed his sets. I mean, he's always been a really awesome comedian. Everyone who comes to the shows seems to enjoy their time, and his style is kind of just natural, so when he's making fun of things and people, it's not to be mean or it's not to be hurtful. It's just kind of going with what he's actually experienced, and everyone seems to kind of have an understanding that that's exactly what it is, and his shows are comfortable and just awesome to watch. I also like how most of his sets always throw in something crazy Hispanic that most people, I guess, wouldn't understand, but for me, it's just very familiar. Now, I did actually see this original video when it came out. Not this version, but the original version of the story. And it did not have the secondary portion where G. Riley is actually explaining what his version of it was. So that was new, and I really liked that I got to see that secondary aspect of it. Because I can get that if you're looking at this story from like just his perspective, most people would think that it's kind of a touchy thing to do, and it's something that you really shouldn't do unless you know this person like really well. And that's the case here. He did this prank because he knew this person was his friend, and he knew the reaction that they were going to get. Now, for this video, G. Riley's explanation honestly just solidified that entire notion for me, because we kind of had the idea that that's exactly what it was, but his side of the story was awesome, because we got to see exactly how he went from like completely awesome to completely scared to just right back to being completely cool with everything. And it just shows that their friendship is honestly one of those kinds of friendships that you wish you had. And I'm a little bit jealous about that, but at the same time, it takes a lot of time in a friendship to do that. But they're super comfortable with each other enough to be able to play these super interesting pranks on each other. And it seems like they have a lot of hilarious situations that they get themselves into. Now, for this kind of story, I honestly would say that most people shouldn't try it, because unless you've been friends with somebody for at least 20 years, it might not come out the right way. But for them, I'm glad that everything works out just fine. It makes for some great stories, and he's a great storyteller, and everything that he says, it just kind of rolls off of his set. Now, the one part of this video that I also really liked was when he was talking about the maids in the hallway. Now, it's only funny because the reaction that they give him is just super Hispanic. Now, what I mean by that is that a lot of the times when we're doing really stupid things as kids, the first thing that the adults are going to do is first they're going to see that you're all right and what's going on. And when they realize that you're doing something totally stupid, they then go straight to the whole insult. And I mean, they will go at you, they'll insult whatever you're wearing, however you look. But because you're doing something stupid, that opens you up to a whole set of insults. And that definitely didn't change here, and he made sure that he threw that in, which just makes me feel a little bit more comfortable with everything, because I get to see that even though we're in two completely different like areas of the US, the Hispanic reaction is always almost going to be the same. And I don't know, for me, just to know that we're super similar and all of our reactions are going to follow the same situation, it just makes everything a lot funnier for me. But all in all, I did enjoy this video, and I really like that I got to see the second half of this story, because it's a really interesting story. But of course, if you're just hearing it for the first time during this kind of setting now, it could be a little touchy, but I'm just glad that it's taken in the proper format. But yeah, I really enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys did too. If you did, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. Also make sure to hit that little notification button. That way you guys know when I drop my next video. And if you get the chance, join me on Wednesdays and Fridays on Twitch. Just check my pages for the times. Well, thanks for joining me here today, everybody. Stay spicy, my friends.